Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to try one of those book tag videos. I haven't done one yet, but I've been watching them online and they do look like a lot of fun. So I figured I'd give my own a try today with the Finally Fall book tag video. So yeah, let's give it a go. Okay, so the first prompt is, in the fall, the air is crisp and clear. Name a book with a vivid setting. So the first book that came to mind for this prompt was Wizard and Glass by Stephen King. This video may be a little bit Stephen King heavy. I do have a lot of King books and I have read them all, so a lot of them did come to mind when thinking about these things. So Wizard and Glass, the setting was unbelievable. Just the way he built the setting in this one with Roland telling the story of an experience he had when he was younger with his friends, where they were in this town, basically undercover, living lives of someone they weren't. So they were incognito, basically. It's a love story. It's a tragedy. It just is really good. And I thought this book, more than any other book, was one where I was just fully immersed into the world and the environment. So for this prompt, definitely Wizard and Glass. Prompt number 2 is nature is beautiful, but also dying. Name a book that is beautifully written, but also deals with a heavy topic like loss or grief. So instantly, the book that comes to mind is Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. I did just review this one on one of my latest horror book recommendation videos, but this just couldn't fit this prompt any better. It deals with a lot of grief and a lot of loss, with both Frankenstein and Frankenstein's monster. It is a beautiful read. I really did enjoy this one, and you just really can't go wrong with reading this one in the fall for the Halloween season. Prompt number 3, fall is back to school season. Share a nonfiction book that taught you something now. So I don't have a lot of nonfiction on my shelf, basically only 2, and they were both Stephen King books. So the one I went with is On Writing. This is actually a great insight into the minds of one of the best of all time, basically how he writes and little tips of what he abides by and his process and how he writes his novels. So in the whole school setting, this would obviously be English class, writer's craft, if you want to get a little more specific. This is a good read, even if you don't like reading nonfiction. Yeah, if you're a Stephen King fan, I highly suggest checking this one out. It's interesting. Prompt number 4. In order to keep warm, it's good to spend some time with the people we love. Name a fictional family, household, or friend group that you'd like to be a part of. So this one, I thought about it for a little bit, and what is there not to love about Percival and his gang in Ready Player One? If you're nostalgic at all, if you're kind of in my age bracket, and you grew up playing old video games or watching 80s movies, this novel is the one for you. It is a great ride. Just couldn't put this one down. This one's the definition of a page turner. And like I said, what other group of friends would you not want to be a part of, making your way through the oasis and having all the fun that entails. So Ready Player One, definitely. Prompt number 5. The colorful leaves are piling up. Show us a pile of fall-colored spines. Okay, so here is my spines of fall-colored leaves. I tried to pick as much orange-ish red as I could with a little bit of brown. Also, some really good books in here. So yes, here it is. Prompt number 6. Fall is the perfect time for some storytelling by the fireside. Share a book wherein somebody is telling a story. So this one, we're going back to Stephen King, and it's The Wind Through the Keyhole. This is actually a story within a story within a story. So you might even say it's the inception of novels, except a little less confusing. So basically it follows Roland and his quartet as they're held up for the night to wait out a storm. And Roland starts telling them a story. And in that story, a character starts telling another group of characters another story. So it's a really good read. You kind of get lost in it because you forget where you started from and where you are. So it's really cool. Even if you haven't read the Dark Tower series, you could read this one as a standalone. It may be just a touch confusing at the start or at the end because that's where it kind of mixes into the Dark Tower story, but I mean the two stories within this story, if that makes any sense, you definitely could read as a standalone. So some good stuff here. Prompt number 7, the nights are getting darker. Share a dark and creepy road. So I chose Touch the Night by Max Boot III. It doesn't get much darker than this one. This is one of the darker novels I've read in a while. Let's just put it this way. It doesn't leave you in a good place. Doesn't really give much for our characters, which you become so endeared to. It's more so a win for the villains, if that's the best way to put it. Yeah, so it is a dark novel, so this one was kind of a no-brainer for me when choosing a dark road. Prompt number 8, the days are getting colder. Name a short and heartwarming read that could warm up somebody's cold and rainy day. So this one was a tough one for me. Someone who is so much into horror novels, it was hard to come up with a short and heartwarming novel. The closest you're gonna get for me is Life of Pi. It can be considered a heartwarming novel, I guess. There's a good message to it. This was one of my more favorite reads out of the books that I had to read in school, so I did pick myself up a copy. Maybe I'll reread it one day, but yeah, this is the closest you're gonna get from me for this prompt for sure. Prompt number 9, fall returns every year. Name an old favorite that you'd like to return to soon. So back to Stephen King here. This was one of the earlier Stephen King novels that I did read when I was making my way through his book list. Needful Things. It is one of my favorites by him. At least I remember it being. I did read it a long time ago. So this is one that I've thought about rereading for a while. If I were going to pick up another Stephen King book, I'm probably going to do this one first. Just not really in the neighborhood of rereading a book right now, as I just got so much on my TBR that I want to get to. But when I do, it's going to be this one. And finally, the last one, prompt number 10. Fall is the perfect time for cozy reading nights. Share your favorite cozy reading accessories. So for this one, my 2 favorite accessories are my 2 cats. So let's have you guys meet my cats. This here is Hubert. He likes to pretty much sleep and eat. That's basically the gist of his life. This is him in the captain's chair, as I like to call it. This is my chair that I do a lot of reading in. So yes, this is one of my favorite reading accessories, just lounging with Hubert while I read a book. And this is Hannah, my other reading accessory. I've got to be careful because she likes to run away. She's a little harder to wrangle up than Hubert is. But right now, this is her time to sleep on her little tower here. And it would be a good time. I thought it would be a good time to film her for a little bit. So this is Hannah. She is our newest addition. And yes, she is my other favorite reading accessory. And there she goes. Okay guys, thanks for checking out my Finally Fall book tag. Once again, if you're into this kind of content, if you love reading in general, give me a thumbs up, give me a subscribe, and we'll keep making the videos for you.